This is Darren Mar-Elia, CTO and founder of SDM Software, and I'm going to do a quick demo associated with my blog posting on how putting synchronous client-side extensions into your group policy objects can impact performance. So we already talked about the 4 client-side extensions that require a synchronous foreground refresh, one of which is the GP Preferences drive mapping extension, which is fairly commonly used today. What I'm going to do is show you the effect of having a policy that includes both GP preferences, drive mappings, as well as just simple old admin template settings. So what I've got here is a Win7 workstation where the user has logged on after having processed the GPO that contains both drive mapping policy. In this case, you'll see here I've got this drive mapping policy to K and an admin template setting. And I have a little tool that I've written that can tell me what the previous foreground refresh was. In this case, for this user, it was synchronous because the client-side extension required foreground processing. That was the drive mapping policy. Then it's telling me that the next foreground refresh is asynchronous, and the reason is there's no need for synchronous. So the drive mapping policy has processed, and we're ready to roll with asynchronous policy processing. Okay, now what we're going to do is make a change to that group policy object. And essentially what I'm going to do is not even touch the drive preferences, the group policy preferences drive mapping, but just go in and change an admin template setting from not configured or from enabled to not configured. And then if I go ahead and run GP update on this machine as if a normal background refresh were happening. So this is not even a GP update force, just a GP update, and let that complete, then what you're going to see if I bring up my utility again and refresh it and go down to the user section is that for this user B. Weston, the next refresh is now set to synchronous because the CSE requires it. So just by virtue of changing that admin template setting within that GPO that contains a group policy preferences drive mapping, this machine has had the flag set to tell it that the next logon is going to be synchronous. In other words, the user is going to have to wait for policy processing to complete before he gets his desktop. That concludes this little demo that shows the impact of using sort of mixed client-side extensions within certain group policy objects.